Good day, I am Jason Tijulan, BPED second year. So, how are you today? I hope that we are all okay even with this crisis that is happening in our country. So, in this video, I am going to showcase the various folk dances in Asia, particularly Thailand, Malaysia, China, Korea, and Japan. So, let's focus first. So, folk dance in Singapore. The Malay community in Singapore have a broad variety of traditional dance styles, including Zapin, Jujit, Asli, and Inang, among others. So, during the early 20th century, most of these traditional dance were already popular in Singapore. They are now performed at special occasions, presented as shows, and taught to the younger generation at performing arts schools. The philosophy of the whole meaning of the Zapin dance breaker 12 costume is an embodiment of obedience to religious teachings, which aims to maintain the dignity of a man by using clothes that are close and not body shape, which is in accordance with Malay customs, which are based on the books of Allah. The ancient dance form has been altered to suit various locales, each adaptation featuring unique motions and dancing styles. Jujit is recognized for its fast-paced rhythm and energetic rhythms. Asli is a slow-paced dance form with precise, well-defined attitudes and gestures. Gong rhythms are generally used to start and conclude the Asli dance. Inang, on the other hand, is a fast-paced dance with elegant motions. At social gatherings, it is frequently performed by couples of women and men. Though traditional dance compositions are still performed often, Malay dance groups or choreographers have drawn inspiration from many dance classics to create reinterpretation and new work. So the next country, let's proceed to the Thailand. So the folk dance in Thailand is an original theatrical art form, takes several forms including kun, lakhonai, and liki. To mention a few, Thai traditional dance combines smooth and intricate body motions with costly clothes and music to create a unique experience. Thai dance, which had been inspired by Indian culture at first, reached its pinnacle during the second. National features were integrated. The first theatrical art form of Thailand, Thai dance includes many forms, including kun, lakhonai, and leki. Thai traditional dance is a mixture of graceful and elaborate body movements with a lavish costume of music. So, leki. Leki is a popular folk dance in Thailand, performed with extravagant costumes and hilarious comedy. The script shared the narrative of love alongside the actors, who frequently improvise. For a Junai was originally performed by royal maidens, but it is now mostly done by women who collaborate and perform in groups. It is the most traditional type of Lakhon dance originating in the Ayutthaya and Bangkok courts. The UNESCO Heritage Cone Dance, which is regularly performed in the royal court with masked dancers and a narrator, is one of the most well-known classical dance. The UNESCO Heritage Cone Dance, which is regularly performed in the royal court with masked dancers and a narrator, is one of the most well-known classical dances. Due in part to Malaysia's highly varied cultural heritage, there are many intriguing forms of traditional dance. As part of Best Malaysia, the latest installment in the Best series, we took a look at various forms of traditional dance in the country to highlight the vast range of influences that make up the tapestry of Malaysia culture. So you don't need to be a professional dancer to have some moves of your own. Sometimes when the music is just too good, you can't help but dance to it. Even if you don't know the exact steps, you can always find ways to have some fun moving your body. Our ancestors have been dancing for years and they surely know how to have fun. Since the celebration of Malaysia's nationhood is just around the corner, there are as many forms of dance in existence now as there are ways to get your groove on. We figured it would be a good time to highlight some of the popular cultural dance forms in Malaysia. First dance is Makyong. Some believe that this dance form has been since well before the Islamization of Malaysia. Originating from Kelantan, this unique dance was typically performed in a royal theater under the direct patronage of the Kelantan Sultanate until the 1920s. It is not called dancing if it's not accompanied by good music. The musical instruments used in Makyong are the spike, lute, gong, kisi, finger cymbals, drum, and flute. The music and melody fit perfectly with the dance while revealing a drama of its own. Besides being intended for entertainment, this dance is also regarded as a healing process when the ritual is performed. Since the Makyong dance is believed to have a mystical element, the conservative state government of Kelantan banned performance of the Makyong in 1998. So the next country is China. So the dance in China, Buddhism arrived in China from India about 2,000 years ago. A Chinese priest who made a tour of India in the 7th century brought back to China stories on which he based operas, one of which concerned the antics of a Monkey King, a character from the Indian Ramayana. Although there are traces of Indian influence in China, the Chinese developed their own indigenous art forms, of the most outstanding being Chinese dance. So between the 9th and 10th centuries, one of the emperors created an institute of dramatics known as the Pearl Garden, which was China's first known Royal Performing Arts and the Musical Academy. Emperor Xuanzong founded it during the Tang Dynasty, and it is an early institutional academy of performing arts and music. When the emperor goes out to fight, the queen performs a goodbye sword dance. This is Yang Quill Fee's opera. When she worries the emperor no longer loves her, a famous Chinese beauty dances drunkenly. When dance appears in China opera, it is almost incidental. When the emperor leaves for battle, the queen performs a sword dance in farewell. The Chinese opera stage is bare except for a multicolored backdrop. Before the 18th century, both men and women appeared on stage. After that time, men took over female roles and women barred from the stage for reasons of property. Since 1924, however, women have again appeared in that theater. Traditionally, the most famous opera companies have been in Peking. As the folk dance in China, there are several from various provinces of a stick dance, a butterfly chase dance, as keeping dance, but apparently few have been preserved. So, India. So in India, there are more than 30 folk dances. Some of the most popular dances are Gumir, Kachiguri Chari, Kalbilia, all of them originating from the state of Rajasthan. Indian folk and tribal dances are product of different socio-economic setup and traditions evolved over ages. In India, we have festivals and celebrations virtually every day, and dances are performed to express joy and festivity. This has added to the richness of Indian culture. Since every festival is accompanied by a celebration, folk dances have become an integral part of our social milieu. There are now numerous folk dance and tribal dances, and almost all of them have continuously evolved and improvised. Folk dances are performed for every possible occasion to celebrate the arrival of seasons, birth of a child, a wedding, and festivals, which are plenty. The folk dances are extremely simple, with minimum of steps or movement. Indian folk dance are full of energy and vitality. Some dances are performed separately by men and women, while in some performances, men and women dance together. On most occasions, the dancer sings themselves, accompanied by artists with instruments. Each form of folk dance has a specific costume and rhythm. Most of the costumes worn for folk dances are colorful with extensive jewels and designs. So let's have a look at folk dance of India. So one of the example of dance in India is the Hikat. Hikat is performed in groups. The dancers hold each other's hand and go around dancing in circles. The pace of their movement is adjusted according to the tempo of the music being played. Usually, it all begins slowly and the pace gradually picks up until the women gain full momentum. So the next country we go to Korea. So dance in Korea. Buddhism reached Korea in the 4th century AD from China and brought with it religious dances performed during Buddhist rituals. These dances had no specific religious meaning but were used to attract attention to the Buddhist ceremony. A typical dance of this type consists of a young monk carrying a drum stick in each hand and beating a drum. The dance movements consist primarily of waving the long sleeves of his garment. In folk dance, the Korean peasant had a freedom of expression and creativity not found in the formal religious and court dances. The folk dance took in elements of the dances from the court and from Buddhist rituals and adapted them to its own needs. An example is the monk dance, Songbo. A dancer wearing a monk's robe rises as if awakening from meditation. He then rises and towers his long sleeves as if his feet were shaken. He starts vigorously, beating a drum. The music stops. The dancer seems released and free. The primary impression one gets from Korean court and religious dance is a feeling of elegance. So the last country is Japan. So dance in Japan is over 1,500 years old and these traditional forms have been preserved intact. The oldest Japanese dance is Bugaku, a stately slow court dance. It was imported from India through Tibet and from China through Korea. It is only since World War II that the court dancers have been seen outside the imperial palace. Except for a few performances at shrines, Bugaku has been a dance form preserved strictly for the entertainment of the royal court. It employs very beautiful mimes, occasional masks and props, and an elaborate orchestra. The costumes of kabuki are opulent, and makeup and stage scenery are elaborate, giving a very dramatic and colorful effect. No and kabuki are danced and acted by men who perform both female and male roles. However, Dance excerpts taken from the kabuki or no theater are danced on the popular stage currently either by men or women. For these occasions, they borrow kabuki dances. They perform both women's and men's dances, the latter being mostly about warriors and the former having romantic love as the theme. The dance is stately and slow-moving, again in beautiful costume and makeup. Control is the single most important item in this as in all other forms of Japanese dance. Folk dance in Japan abounds. There are rice planting dances, fishermen's dances, lion dances, and temple dances such as the Bon Odori, when the whole countryside joins in dancing in celebration of a religious holiday. So that was all for this video. I hope that you enjoy watching with this tour video, particularly for the folk dance from the different country.